Welcome to Horizontal Multiplication Division Booklet 2, dividing by 2 and 3. Now in the previous book we had worked on multiplying by 2 and 3. We had actually gotten a little bit into the division part. I'm going to show you again. So let's look at the sample up top. The whole is going to be these 6 candies. Now if you look, it basically looks like everything is repeated twice. I see 3 candies and I see each of them 2 times. So if 3 times 2 is equal to 6, then the reverse is true. 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. There's 3 in each column. So basically what you need to do is learn to work backwards. And since addition is the opposite of subtraction, multiplication is the opposite of division, and vice versa. Division is the opposite of multiplication. So all you really have to do is take those 6, split them up evenly. It's like you had 6 candies and you want to basically divide it into 2 people, or have 2 people get each one. Each one would get a red, each one would get a green, each one would get a yellow. So you'd have 2 completely equal groups. So let's move on down. Fill in the missing numbers. So they already go ahead and give us 0 times 2 is equal to 0. So 0 divided by 2 is also equal to 0. If we go to the next one, 1 times 2, you know that from the previous book, is equal to 2. So if I work backwards, what's 2 divided by 2? So basically, how many 2's go into 2 evenly? 1. So 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. Easy. 2 times 2 equal to 4. So work backwards. What's 4 divided by 2? It'd be 2 2's. So the answer would be 2. 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. And 6 times 2 is equal to 12. So if I work backwards from there, 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5. And 12 divided by 2 is going to be 6. Again, it's just following the same pattern. It's just working backwards. I'll go ahead and start with 7, 8, and 9. 7 times 2 is 14. 8 times 2 is 16. 9 times 2 is 18. So then 14 divided by 2 is going to be 7. 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8. And 18 divided by 2 is going to be 9. To finish it off, we have 10, 11, and 12. So 10 times 2 is 20. 11 times 2 is 22. 12 times 2 is equal to 24. And going backwards, 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. 22 divided by 2 is equal to 11. And 24 divided by 2 is equal to 12. Let's move back up and now talk about fact families. So fact families really are where you have 3 numbers and they can all be arranged to make 4 different types of equations. The first one I want to go ahead is say 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So my numbers are 4, 2, and 8. I can come up with 3 more equations for this. Now with multiplication is commutative, so you can actually flip it. So if 4 times 2 is equal to 8, I could do 2 times 4 is equal to 8. Now since this section is called horizontal multiplication and division, I'm also going to need to come up with some division equations. Now since 8 is going to be my quotient, I'm going to use that as the beginning. So 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4, and 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. That makes sense. You have 2 groups of 4 or 4 groups of 2. The next one we have here is 6 times 2 is equal to 12. So I also know that 2 times 6 is equal to 12. Then I could also do 12 divided by 2, and that's equal to 6. And then 12 divided by 6, and then that's equal to 2. Finally, we're going to have 8 times 2. That equals to 16. So what is 2 times 8? Also 16. Remember, they're commutative, so you can flip them back and forth. With division, 16 divided by something is equal to 8. Since I'm dealing with a fact family, the only number I don't see out of these 3 is 2. So 16 divided by 2 is equal to 8. And what about 16 divided by something is equal to 2? Again, fact family. I know that 2, 8, and 16 all go together. So 16 divided by 8 is equal to 2. Moving on to page number 9, it looks like we're going to work with dividing by 3's. So I'm going to go ahead and show the pieces of fruit here. And it looks like I have 6. Looks like 3 different sets of that. So it says if 2 times 3 is equal to 6, then 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So it's like if I had 6 pieces of fruit and I wanted to split them up between 3 people, how much would each person get? So again, I need to work backwards, since division is the opposite of multiplication. So this is going to divide or split into 3 different groups. And you see we have group 1, group 2, and group 3 here. So let's move on down. Just like the last page, 0 times 3 is equal to 0, so I'm going to work backwards. 0 divided by 3 is equal to 0. No surprise there. 1 times 3 is equal to 3, so 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. So if I think 2 times 3 is equal to 6, 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. And again, it's just going forwards and backwards. 3 times 3 is 9, so 9 divided by 3 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12, so 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. 5 times 3 is 15, 15 divided by 3 is 5. Let's go ahead and do a couple more at a time here. 6 times 3 is 18. 7 times 3 is 21. 8 times 3 is 24. So if I went backwards on each one of those, I would get an answer of 6, 7, and 8. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish it off. 9 times 3 is 27. Then we have 30, 33, and 36. Just notice each time it goes up by 3. So then in my division, I'm going to just go backwards. So I'm going to have 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I want to deal with fact families that have basically the numbers, a fact family that has the numbers 3, 4, and 12. What I want you to do is to pause this video and give me 4 equations that give me 3, 4, and 12. Once you finish that, unpause it to find out the answer. Okay, so dealing with 3, 4, and 12, I'm going to go ahead and start with my multiplication problems first. I'm going to say 4 times 3 is equal to 12, and 3 times 4 is equal to 12. Remember, it doesn't matter which one goes first with multiplication. Now I'm going to get into my division. 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4, and 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. Alright, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to pause this video and deal with a fact family of 3, 5, and 15. Alright, so 3 times 5 is equal to 15, and 5 times 3 is equal to 15. Something divided by 3 is got to equal 5. Again, it's 15. And 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3. Final one for this page right here. Fact family of 7, 3, and 21. So I want you to pause this right now and come up with the fact families for 7, 3, and 21. Okay? You should know that 7 times 3 is equal to 21. So 3 times 7 is also equal to 21. So 21 divided by 3 is equal to 7, and 21 divided by 7 is equal to 3.